Today I want to talk to you guys about a case that has recently started to get more coverage heard on it, despite the family trying to spark attention in the very beginning. Jelani Jesse Javante Day was born on a Saturday in June 1996. At 7 pounds, 9 ounces, and 21 inches long, Jelani, which in Swahili means great and powerful, also full of strength, was the fourth of his siblings to his parents, Miss Carmen and Sev Day. I hope I'm saying Sev right, I'm not sure. And out of 5 children, he was the youngest of his 3 brothers, and he also had 2 sisters. The hometown was Danville, Illinois, which is about 120 miles south of Chicago and around 90 miles west of Indianapolis, Indiana. Routes 1, US 136, and US 150 all intersect in the town, as well as Interstate 75, which passes through the south end of town, and Lake Vermilion, which is at the northwest side. Danville is a coal mining town and also a town that has legalized the use of marijuana. Danville's location is right on the Indiana state line, so it made it a very busy destination for recreational cannabis dispensaries because cannabis has remained still illegal in Indiana. So Jelani's mom, Miss Carmen, she had a nickname for him, calling him Jelani Bears, and she was very proud of him. Jelani's parents both poured their heart and soul into raising their children, and they began raising them in Danville, Illinois. His mother was very church-oriented and always taught her children scriptures. Both parents taught their kids about what it takes to become someone successful and steering them away from poverty, drugs, and gangs, or anything that meant trouble. They also taught respect and what it takes to make it in the world, especially having a decent education. And all 5 kids would go on later to earn college degrees. Miss Carmen's kids, that's what all the kids were known as around their town, and all 5 were raised in the Church of God in Christ. Jelani Day was a very bright and accomplished young man that had a lot going for him, and he continued to set goals, meet them, and then work towards meeting another one, flying past it with vibrant colors. Jelani used to be an avid swimmer as part of his school swim team, and he attended Alabama A&M University. Growing up, and even into adulthood, Jelani never got into trouble, nor did he want to be around it. He never had any kind of criminal history either. He was close to all 5 of his siblings and a very family-oriented brother, son, grandson, and friend, especially with his mom, Miss Carmen Bolden Day, and he was also close to his dad, who unfortunately has cancer. And before his disappearance, Jelani was planning on saving his dad's life by giving him bone marrow since he was a match. And I can't imagine that. Oh my gosh, that's just terrible. Jelani also attended Alabama A&M University, and after graduating, he worked at a family advocacy organization to help others with parenting and anger management. He ended his job there, though, when he wanted to go back to school, and he enrolled at Illinois State. He had aspirations of becoming a doctor. His major was speech pathology, and his main reasoning behind choosing that career path was because of a little boy who was teased for a speech impediment. He was also a current member of the Omega Fraternity, and he was looking forward to this and also made future plans of traveling with his family to Destin, Florida, sometime around Thanksgiving in the coming months ahead. Jelani had attended Alabama A&M University prior to attending Illinois State University, where he was a grad student. Before his disappearance, he was supposed to be going to meet with his professor, Kara, who was the director of clinical education at ISU. And after texting and confirming these plans the night prior on August the 23rd, the professor was very alarmed whenever Jelani never showed. Kara says, grad school is serious and none of the grad students would just miss class, especially Jelani, without making contact first. So she decided to wait until he had class because she knew he had a class coming up at 1 o'clock. So she wanted to see what would happen and if he would show, but he failed to show for that too. So after waiting nearly all day and calling and texting to no avail, she then alerted campus police and authorities, which in turn notified his family. And on August the 25th, the family filed a missing person report. So let's backtrack it a day. So on August the 24th, when the professor realized that Jelani never showed, Jelani was seen in Bloomington, Indiana. And when he was seen, he was on camera dressed up. He was looking very nice and presentable that morning because he was supposed to be meeting his teacher. So he was seen by going by a Starbucks, and he was walking around on campus. And then later on, he was seen on camera in Bloomington, Indiana, getting out of his white-colored four-door sedan. This is a 2010 Chrysler 300, and it has a black cloth top and chrome wheels. And he was seen going into a dispensary. So this was the last time he was ever to be seen again alive. This is the vehicle that was given to Jelani after his grandfather passed away. And his grandfather passed away in October of 2014. So Jelani really, really cared about this car. And Jelani spent time and money working to fix this car up. And he was paying off the repair costs. So upon entering, it's noticed he's changed his clothes. He's not dressed up anymore. He's now wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a baseball cap. And upon entering, I noticed that he briefly looks up at the camera. Now, I've never been in a dispensary before, but there has been some people that have said that sometimes when you go in a dispensary, you might have to look up at the camera because it takes a picture of you or something. But I don't know. He looks up at the camera. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure. So, later on August the 26th, one day after he was reported missing, this same car that he owns is discovered in a wooded area away from the road. This location is in Peru, past the Illinois Valley YMCA, north of 12th Street and West Clocks Avenue. The same clothing he had on at the dispensary are found inside of his vehicle, and his wallet is also inside. His phone is missing. His keys are nowhere to be found. And the license plate tag that goes on the back of the car was missing as well. And so was Jelani. So 9 days later, which is Saturday, September the 4th, around 9:47 a.m., a body is seen floating in the Illinois River, right by the Illinois Route 251 bridge. This is about an hour drive north from his school campus, and at first they weren't sure if this was a male or a female, or what race or ethnicity, due to the state of decomposition and the river deteriorating any further identities. So the body, it was without eyes. It only had eye sockets, and different organs were missing. The body was basically liquefied in different body part areas, and it was turning it into mush. So on September the 7th, the preliminary autopsy determined the body to be that of a male. And Jelani's grandmother and a brother went in to identify him after Miss Carmen, his mom, and some other family members submitted some DNA. And it was then confirmed that this was, in fact, Jelani. At the time of Jelani's death, he was 25 years old, 6'1", and when his body was recovered in the LaSalle County, Illinois River back in early September, everybody was stunned because how could he get in the river and why was he nearly naked? So there was 2 autopsies performed, one from the coroner, and the second was private that the family had hired. So there was, at first, a miscommunication and confusion after the second autopsy had people repeating that Jelani's jaw was sawed off and the organs were missing, but Jelani's mother, Miss Carmen, later verified that this was a misunderstanding, that this was not organ harvesting, and to keep the main focus on what happened to Jelani and who is responsible. So his cause of death still hasn't been publicly released, pending tests, but toxicology tests have been back, and the lab received tissue samples that were taken from the liver and the kidney and the brain, and that was on September the 8th. So when those came back, it just showed caffeine, nicotine, and delta-9-carboxy-THC. And so I didn't know exactly what that meant, so I looked it up, and it says delta-9-carboxy-THC is identified as a byproduct produced in the body after cannabis is consumed, according to the CDC. And according to the report, the amounts of caffeine and cotinine found in his system are not typically toxicologically significant. So the family's attorney's name is Haley Besner, and she said that the toxicology report was exactly what we expected it to be, and unfortunately provides no answers as to what happened to Jelani. So one thing that his mom stresses, and I totally believe her and I agree with her, is that he didn't willingly go into the river on his own will. At first, authorities were trying to speculate that Jelani done this to himself, but someone that typically wants to take their own life doesn't have plans ahead of them in such short notice. He had a million reasons to live and not die, and Jelani had so much planned. In fact, he also had plans to attend a game at A&M University and had told his friends and family and his mom how excited he was, saying it was going to be lit. And he wanted all his friends and family to celebrate afterwards with him. And after his disappearance, instead of Jelani celebrating the game, the university had a service to celebrate Jelani, to honor his life. And Jelani also was a member of the Delta Fraternity. A celebration also is held at the Danville High School auditorium. The fraternity is doing everything that they can also to support getting his case heard. And also the town Jelani was found in, it's typically a white minority town, and if Jelani had parked his vehicle where it was found, he would have been pretty noticeable by someone as a black man walking naked down the road into the river's water to drown and kill himself. And then investigators, they're looking over hundreds of hours of security camera footage, and the Plainfield Fire Department dive team performed a search for items connected to the case. However, no results were found from that search. The FBI is now involved, and if you have seen Jelani prior to his disappearance or know anything that will be able to help this family find the key to closure and justice, please reach out. The family runs a Facebook page called Justice for Jelani, which I will link all of these in the description or the caption below. Also, please make sure you're going to the correct GoFundMe, since there are sick people that pretend to be victims' families. I am linking the only one that is set up that the family has running. It is the only confirmed GoFundMe. If you see another one, please report it. The name on the families is under the name Dakara or Dakara, I'm not sure how to say it, but Dakara Bolden. And anything else is incorrect, because this is the only one the family has that is up. So I wanted to note something that I found out So the place that Jelani's car was found, this is a town of a population of 10,000 people, and a great percentage of those people are white. So there's a very small percentage that is black. And when his car was found, these are key pieces to this. His car was found, and I know I already said that the license plate was taken and it was removed off. It was never found. His phone was never found. His wallet was found miles away, and his lanyard that he had when he was wearing the blue dress shirt with the black pants, that red lanyard, it was also found somewhere away. And his clothes were also in a different spot. So Jelani is 6'1", 6'2", and about 100 and I believe they said 80 pounds. And so if he's walking through a town half naked, dropping stuff, you would think that someone would see. And so this is where the investigation is at, because no cameras happen to be in this area. But it's just weird how, a half black man is walking naked or nearly naked, and nobody sees anything, and his stuff is scattered. And I said, he was on a swim team. He knows how to swim, so he didn't just jump willingly into the river. There's also a change.org petition, and it is asking that the FBI to remain involved in the case. I'm going to post that also. And then if you have any information that you need to give, you can call BFT Dispatch at 309-820-8888 or contact Detective Paul Jones at 309-434-2548. And he also has an email. It is pjones@cityblm.org. And I'll also have that posted below as well. All right, so that's most of the timeline and details leading up to Jelani's body being recovered. And if you know anything, say something, because somebody out there knows what happened to Jelani. And if you don't know anything and you're just coming across this post or video about Jelani, you can share. And you don't have to share my video. You can Google it and read an article about the case and share that. But there are many misconceptions that need to be corrected. So please make sure you are reading something correct. And in order to read everything correct, you can go to Justice for Jelani, and that is the Facebook page that the family is running. And all that is correct. So I would suggest following that page there to keep updated. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.